Today is May 28th, 2021. I made this video the other day, but it turns out, as careful as I was still moving the camera too fast. So, front porch, as you can see, orchid, cymbidium orchid on the bench. This Daisy, of course, in the window. Hi, Daisy. Daisy, you're not looking at me now. Hi, Daisy. And that's my tillandsia. Flowers almost spent. Kind of a nursery here on this baker's rack. Things that I'm trying to resuscitate that for various reasons. And then there's a whole bunch of odorata pups up here. And of course that one in the center is the very unusual and rare and expensive Roberta Meniscal. So there you go. And looking down here, this is a Neoregula Evans, and it's starting to flush. It's really getting pretty. It's got a bit of a spiral on it. And behind it you can see the Bromeliad Casablanca. And I've got a Quesnelia Tim Plum, and that's the one with the curved branches. This is another Evans that's flushed and it's spiraled. It's really cool. And then the one to the left with the purple center, this was originally, Tropiflora thought was heavy traffic. It was a white bromeliad with purple splotches, kind of banding, and the pup came out looking like this, so there's no white. Anyways, and there's my cone ginger, Indian head ginger. The these little things are edible. They taste like cucumber. And then that is my Inferno that I just got, and it's so cool because the top just comes up like an Inferno, but what makes this one, that's why I picked this one, is see the pup is coming out that creamy yellow white. It doesn't have the variegation on it. And of course that's another one in there. That's a, I think that's Casablanca. That is a Godea. That's smudge grub back there. And moving slowly, looking over towards the front flower bed, that's my sweet almond. 3 years ago it was just a stick. That thing is a monster. The big foxtail, still not full grown, but it's getting pretty big. And just a bunch of different bromeliads in here. I've got some Alcantara imperialis tucked back in here. This first one is a Skodak purple imperialis. This is chocolate. It's a decorative pineapple with this pineapple on top, and it's got a whole bunch of baby pineapples going on in there. And this is pink panties, a pup, Amarillo. And of course you can see the pink powder puff. She blooms all year round. There's a whole bunch more buds ready to come out. I was really kind of wanting to wait and make this video when the bridal bouquet plumeria, or frangipani, was in bloom. It isn't. The baby one is already getting some buds on it, but the rest, the big one, isn't yet. But it's the way it goes. It's a cooler day, so I wanted to do this when I didn't have blazing hot sun. It's hard to get pictures that way. And then the baby foxtail, that's where the big oak tree used to be. And the bromeliads around it. And then this is my Eugenia. I pruned it up so it's more like a little shrub tree. So I could put some, of course, bromeliads underneath it. I got a couple Skinner eyes in there and a few other things, tossed salad and whatever. That's a Rubens pup, that yellow one, some Blanchetianas. This is the Pitcairnias. I've got two of them and another one in the back. These are going to be about 4 or 5 feet tall. They get a really tall, slender spike with all these little red tubular flowers, and it was bigger, but it kind of died back in that cold snap. We had that one weird cold night. My odorata. And then you can see this is the other part of the front. The sun's kind of beating on us. Walk over here so you can see some of the stuff. I got a Neoregelia ardea back there. It was one of those weird things that morphed white. It's a morphed version of Mortine. And then there's those little guys in there. I got red ribbons tucked in there. This is the leopard plant. It gets a yellow daisy type flower. More Indian head ginger. This is a pup. This orange thing is a pup. Still a small pup, if you can imagine, off of burnt notice. And that is Ichmea. It is Yamamoto Flamingo. It's given me one pup. It's got another one. That is Neoregelia johannes de Rolf. And then that's my Ichmea Chantinii Samurais. And just a nice little collection of stuff here. Corinta rubras and so forth. There's a Carcher rodent tiger in there. Bromofolia. I got a Nidulary mystery back in there. Just a bunch of stuff. And then in here some neat things. That really pink thing back there is Neoregelia Wolfgang. And I got red tiger there. Orange crush is that bright orange center one. This is Vrisia opus gruberi. No, opus gruberi. Yeah. This purple thing, I have no idea. I think it's Belen. I've had it forever, and it's never popped. One day we're hoping. And of course, here you can see different cryptanthus. More cryptanthus. Here is Elaine, cryptanthus. And that is Rosia lineata. You can see the striping on it. Another cryptanthus. Hopefully I'm moving slow enough that it's not blurring. This is really cool. This is a cross. It's a bigeneric. It's a cross between a Neoregelia and Ichmea. It's a Neomea, and it's called Exquisita. The flower comes up in the center like a cone, very, maybe 2 inches tall, and it looks like rubies and sapphires, or amethyst. This little Bilbergia is Darth Vader. I got the Theonices here. The leaves are turning a bit yellow. I don't know why. This is Vrisia, it's Fenestralis. That other one there is red chestnut. And my leaves on my bishop's cloak are starting to resuscitate. It hasn't rained and it's not getting any water, and they were wilted, so I'm running a drip. You can see the vanilla orchid growing up the tree. Because we don't have the right moth, I'll never get any pods unless I self-pollinate it myself. So there's that. And then this is a fun grouping. This is Norman Bates with Hannibal Lecter tucked back in there. And you've got the Song of India. You've got the corn plant. It's getting some variegation on that thing. Huh, that's interesting. Another ginger, and then over here this is really pretty. This is a very large Neoregelia johannes de Rolf with some just neat things going on back there. This is a really cool bromeliad. You see those long strappy, looks like sticks? That's an Oreococcus. That's the genus. And it's a very unusual. See, there's like 5 or 6 species in the whole genus. See the little flower down there? And trying to turn slowly. This Bilbergia is blooming. So you can see that. And that green one back there, kind of pale green with the pink blushing on it, that is a pup. That's a Lois Pride. And that bigger one there that isn't got any pink or graying on it is the mother. It was in too much shade, so I cut the Schefflera back, so now it'll get some of that nice coloring to it. And just some of the bromeliads here. This This really colorful one here is Cookie, and that is Paula, and that is Zebrina Orange. That's going to be really pretty. That is Patricia's Secret. And those two back there with those flowers are just really cool. I just got them. It's a species, it's an Echmea called Nallii. And in the middle is what's left of the mother of an Echmea tropic torch red form, and it's a beautiful one with a beautiful spike. And then over there, that kind of goldy green one is a Portia tambora. Just lots of colors, lots of colors. And of course the native tillandsias. I've got a little orchid back in there. It's got his little flowers on them. There's a tillandsias blooming. I actually have a little orchid back here I'll show you too as I walk back through the shade garden. This one fell on Carol's ground. She's got them everywhere, so she gave this to me. I can't remember what it's called, but it gets a really pretty flower, so one of these days. Alright, now we're going to walk slowly so that this doesn't hopefully blur. So we get into the backyard. You can see my little shed, my little signs on there, she shed. They faded, so I had to paint them. And this is cool. This is a bigeneric. This is Canmea. It's Galaxy. That's as tall as a flower will get. It's a cross between a Canistrum and an Echmea. Just some nice ones. This one here is pretty. This one I've had a hard time identifying. Most times you get bromeliads and no one knows what the heck they are. Of course, porterweed, which I've removed everywhere in the yard because it just, I'm still pulling out seeds everywhere. Ground orchids in there. That's the big Mother Dean, what's left of her. There's two more big pups on the back I have to saw off. I think I've had 10, 11 pups off that thing. There's a big palm frond come down I gotta fix. And this is the coral plant. It is a Jatropha. It's the multiforti. See those little orange flowers on there are really cool. And they get these yellow balls. By the time the yellow ball falls, it becomes another plant. That's another form of Jatropha. That's the more common. That's the spicy Jatropha. And interesting, this little guy here with the little orange flower on top is also a Jatropha. It's the gout plant. And its balls explode and they fly off someplace, and wherever they fall, that's where they'll seed. So you see the red candles up front. I got a Pinot Noir there. It's also called Really, Really Red. In the back, there's that one blooming, and the one beside it on the right of the palm is Little Harve. These two opposite of that kind of purpley one, those are Androlepsis Paradise, and that middle one is a Portia Jungle Book. So there's a bunch of neat stuff here. This is another Androlepsis. This is O'Rourke. And this is interesting too. This is a very unusual Brizia. Really pretty. At first I almost thought it might be Mend by the coloring on the leaves. And of course the big Queen Emma lilies, they're not in bloom. They bloom all year round. But today they're not in bloom, but they get those big, 8-inch, 9-inch or more wide purple and white flowers. So we'll go back here so you can see the banana that's growing. There's my Hindu rope. It's had better days, but it's managing. I got a couple of palm fronds ready to come off, and cobwebs everywhere. So there is the banana. It's getting ready. There's this actually looks like this time there will be more hands. There's that one big hand on top, but I never seem to get any more down below. But this one looks like it might actually develop, so that would be really cool. It tastes a lot like the baby bananas you buy. There's so many different varieties. And my bird's nest fern. That is the Star of Linda. It's just one of my mini pups. That thing was prolific. You can see underneath there those two big deans. I have to pop the mum out of the ground and saw with a big saw. It's a beast. So we'll, of course, the spindle palm. Now, fighting my way through the Queen Emmas. This is interesting, hopefully. You can see it. That is a native Tillandsia. See the size of it? It's huge. Maybe if I go around this way so the sun isn't. Let's see, it's got a big spike. It goes way up. Now I've got little baby loquats growing all over the ground. The squirrels ate all my loquats, and everywhere seeds fell, there's babies popping up. That thing on the tree there, that's a scorpion orchid. Of course, the little patio. And there's blue tango back there, and just a bunch of stuff, burning bush. You can kind of see the different bromeliads in here. This thing is wild. I mean, this thing is huge and it's just wild. Just let you see them all there. Okay. Hopefully I'm going slow enough. Of course, that's the pinwheel jasmine along the house, and you can shape it any way you want, so it's almost like a bonsai. It's such a narrow area, and yet it just fits right in there because you can just prune it however. It's the only jasmine that isn't scented, but it gives us shade, it gives us color. The cardinals nested in it last year. This is my chaya. It's a spinach tree. See all the little white flowers sticking up from the top. It's latex, but you can boil the leaves. You have to cook it a certain way, and then it has a lot of nutritional value, medicinal value, but if you don't do it right, it'll kill you. So I think I'll pass. And there's another Evan, that orangey one there with the center. That orange one there is geisha, grows really pretty. And there's a pectinata. I got a bunch of them around here. This is Purple Star. Now she's lost a lot of her variegation because she's at the end of her life cycle. That green and white one back there, the variegated one, that is America. That's like a variegated version of blue tango. And in here, these are pretty. You've got cotton candy and dreamsicle. You got treasure chest tucked in the back. There's another pectinata. See, it's got the little red tips. That's Corea Rojo. It's really called Sun-Kissed Corea Rojo. That is the Camilla Mend in bloom. And this, I'm going to slowly back up. These are my sweet almonds. They were last year. I just started propagating them last summer. They were just a twig, you know, maybe 6 inches tall at the most. And these things are already, what, 8, 9, 10 feet tall. And of course, sweet almond is the most aromatic. It's just awesome. That is the big bridal bouquet, Plumeria or Frangipani, but it doesn't have any scent. It's the one that doesn't, but it's so beautiful. It has a neat, tight shape, different shaped leaf. And when it's in bloom, which should be soon, it's just like a big white cloud. It's just awesome. It's in perpetual bloom. So you can see the pinwheel jasmine. And this is my kind of help me survive nursery because the bunnies just chewed up a bunch of my really favorite bromeliads. So I stuck them in here and hoping for the best. Then the cold snap that one night did some damage. All my black Chantini eyes. This one here survived, but some of them really just suffered. And you can see a ground orchid, that orange flower there blooming. And of course the sweet almond. There's another mend in bloom. There's just some really, look at the colors in there. Maria, that really red one. This is Chianti, that red one. I love this one. I'm really not sure what it's called. It might be Big Mac. This is Ichmea Felice, and it's a really interesting one. Magali is a really pretty bromeliad. That reddish pinky one is Fancy. Another blue tango. Another red tiger. This is what purple star looks like when it's a pup, but when it's a mother, it's at the end of its life, it's just purple. That's such a pretty one. So I'm going to slowly turn so you can look back down towards the east in the little patio. That's what it looks like. And then we're going to go into the bigger patio where the kitties and Daisy like to hang out. That's where I try to keep some of my more favorite bromeliads so that the bunnies don't, or the squirrels, or the armadillo don't ruin them. Although there's been some damage from pets in here, I have to tell you. Gazpacho, they're cute. Those little guys back there are guacamole, pimiento, Margaret, concentrica, green eyes back there. That's Hawaii. That's golden wine, freckles, Lambert's Pride, the orange spiral Medusa, which is Dan's favorite. Shell Dance is such a pretty one. Another purple star. That's a Nigellarium. Evan. I think that's Julia. I'm pretty sure, but it was hard to identify. That's Raphael back there. And that's Cookie. A couple odorata pups, and the very, very, very disappointing Recantaria Juliet. Everybody I know theirs has died. Mine has managed to hang on for 5 years, and this is what I've got. It's just dismal. And then you got green apples. A mascar. That one I'm going to have to move. He's getting too much sun. That is called, that's actually considered, oh, what do I call that thing? Perfection. It's actually the standard. It's still considered the most perfect of all bromeliads, but it's getting too much sun. I've got to move it. And that is Golden Gate there. Another Nigellarium. That's a Skotak hybrid. And just some really cool things. The Iphigenia there, that little one with that scarlet on it. It's pretty. And this one is really, really pretty. It's starting to fade, but it's still not pupped. But I think Daisy tore it up trying to get at a lizard one day because the leaves are shredded, so it's too bad. And of course, parsley and rosemary. Some of these things are in here to help repel bugs or to eat. There's catnip, and that is also good for repelling bugs. Some decorative pineapple. The one in the backyard was in bloom. I forgot to show it to you. There's an odorata. And the Ichmea Nutticollis albo marginated. Alright, now we'll just move along. See, the hibiscuses are blooming. You can see the tea plants in the background. And I've got all kinds of stuff. I got white ground cover lantana on the bank over there to my left to help hold the bank here. I've just got a lot of plants. I got to get back in there and weed whack the edge of it, but this is just some stuff. There's some canistrums in there. That's the Mexican plumeria I put back there where the palm Erika had to come out because it had the Ganoderma butt rot. I had to put in the shooting star claridendron. It was just a freestand, you know. They just pop up all over the place, so I just put it in. There's my peacock ginger, and of course when I took this video the other day, but moving too fast, it was blooming. It has like can't think of the name now. The little purple flower, African violet flowers is what they look like. Bunch of stuff tucked in there. There's an orchid there. There is another orchid here. This one is really amazing. Carol gave these to me, and this one I was at her place, and it has these little tiny, maybe inch long, inch wide by half-inch tall, tomato red colored flowers, and the scent is just beyond incredible. It's just absolutely amazing. So now I'm just going to try to slowly turn the camera so you can see inside the courtyard. I've planted on the outside of it. And just kind of see everything over there. That's a young pup. That's a Mexicana alba marginated. I've got a big one I'll show you later. But you can see there's all kinds of stuff tucked in there. That's a small Skinner eye. And I've got over here Schomburgkia orchid. Last year when it bloomed, it gets this big long spike. The squirrels, it wasn't barely in bloom and the squirrels ate it. That's the left of a blue tango flower spike, and you can see those berries on that kind of purpley one beside it. That's the rest of a Portiolata sepala. And when I took this video the other day, the Iris Regina was in bloom. It's usually in bloom every day, but it's the most beautiful flower. But this one, I'm so excited. It's just starting to come out, and I think, pretty sure this is Fendleri. So this is back here, the bananas. You can see the ponytail palms. More bananas. I'll get out of this jungle. Another loquat. And of course hibiscuses. Back in there is my snows of Kilimanjaro. It's euphorbia in the poinsettia family. It gets full of white flowers in the wintertime, so it's really cool. Oh my, I got mealybugs on this thing. I'm gonna have to put some chemical down. That's bad. It's full of mealybugs. The ponytail palms are getting big. So yeah, I gotta put some mealybug killer down. Hi Penny, that's my neighbor's little doggy. Hi Penny. And this is a tapioca tree. It's taro. And that flower there, that's a Chantinii Fantasia. Hi Penny. And that is my sweet Arabian jasmine. It is so scented. It's just incredible. That is the tropical Hawaiian plumeria, which is nice. And this is the pandanus. And more of the pinwheel jasmine, decorative pineapple. And this is... Go to Mama, Penny. I'm doing a video for my folks. This is the Dumbaya. They call it the Florida Seminole, like a hydrangea almost. And you can see the tricolor pineapples there. A couple very large Dean pups in there.